I don't have a lot of super expensive guitars. I'm not a touring musician, so I never felt the need to have like $3,000 and $4,000 guitars sitting around my house. But I do have some cool and sort of rare, sort of unique guitars that you don't see a lot. Like the Blue Sparkle Squire Stratocaster I did a video on. I've only seen 3 of those in the last 2 years. Occasionally, a couple of the other colors, the pink one, I've seen 1 or 2 of those. I've seen 1 green one, and I don't know if there's any other colors. I wish there was an orange one, because I'd snatch that shit up right now. But one of the things I have that's kind of interesting is I bought a used 2011 black Epiphone Les Paul Custom about a year ago. You may have seen it in some, I used it in some Sunday with Olaw videos, and I think I did a, like, not an unboxing, but I have a video on here somewhere where I opened it up and looked it over and said what I was going to do to it. Well, as time went by, it occurred to me, well, okay, so I guess I should start where first I cleaned it up because it was pretty dirty. I put an EMG headset in it. If you've been following my channel, you're probably seeing a pattern here. Brushed black chrome, which I couldn't find any gold sets at the time. So I figured, well, that'll look okay. And I changed the speed knobs from the black knobs with the white numbers to black with gold accents, and I thought it looked pretty cool, and I think I kind of started something on the Epiphone users and modders group on Facebook, because all of a sudden people started using the black and gold speed knobs. So I'm totally taking credit for that if any of you guys are watching this. I played the guitar for about a year, and I really liked it. It had some high frets. Actually, only really one. It was like, I think like the 15th or 16th fret was a little high, so I just spot leveled it, and it's been fine since then. I got the action down where I want it, and it plays great. So, I got it in my head that I was going to do like a Hetfield Iron Cross tribute. And so I bought the stuff. I cut out a couple crosses at work on the mill. I bought the pinstripes. And the more I just couldn't bring myself to do it to this guitar, because I was going to mat the paint job, and I was going to wear the paint through in a couple places and kind of beat it up a little bit. And there was just something about this. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to leave this the way it is. And I don't know why it took me this long to realize this, but it occurred to me while I was changing the strings. And I figured at the very least I'm going to put a Tone Pros bridge and tailpiece on it. And I'm going to put Hip Shop locking tuners on it. And while I was doing this, it clicked in my head all of a sudden. I knew the fretboard was ebony, but it didn't occur to me that in 2011, they didn't have ebony fretboards on Epiphone Les Paul Customs. So I started digging around, and the other thing that was odd was the original pickups and electronics that came in it. There was push-pull pots for coil tapping. And I'm like, that's weird, because it's not something that was kind of traditionally part of the Epiphone Les Paul Customs. So I started digging around. Now this is information taken from the internet, websites, the wiki, forum posts that I could still find. So it's only as true as the information that I could find. But it seems that they started production for the Les Paul Custom Pros, which, when they were announced, it is my understanding they were announced with ebony fretboards. They had the Pro Bucker 2 and 3 pickups, and they had the push-pull coil tapping. Something happened, and I don't know if it was just Epiphone being Epiphone at the time, where they weren't... Epiphone was a little lackadaisical with their models, and keeping everything kind of straight and narrow and labeling things correctly for a while there. So apparently these Les Paul Custom Pros, some of them got all the trimmings that they were supposed to have, and somewhere along the lines they decided they weren't going to do the ebony board. They were going to go with, I believe, rosewood. And the ones that they made, see, instead of labeling them as Custom Pros, they didn't have the truss rod covers done, so they put the Les Paul Custom truss rod cover on them, and they got shipped out into the wild. Apparently some people that got the Les Paul Custom Pros, like if they pre-ordered them or something, some of them did get ebony fingerboards, some of them got rosewood. So I mean, there's a whole mess there, because they were supposed to be the 2012, like the big thing for 2012. So it seems to me, the best that I can glean from the information at hand, is this is a late model 2011 custom that was actually built to be a 2012 Custom Pro. Are you still with me? So I have no idea what these, because when I bought it, it was just, I didn't know all the ins and outs of when they did this and when they did that. I just knew it was a black Les Paul Custom and it looked cool. So I don't know if, like, I boned myself and it would have been worth some money if I would have left it the way it was, but I don't care. I'm keeping it. It's a great guitar. It sounds good. It plays good. And it's just a kind of a neat little story and a weird little quirk in how Epiphone did things for a while there that, you know, I'm sure the Les Paul Custom Pros weren't cheap when they came out. So, I mean, somebody bought this guitar and paid, like, I'd imagine they probably paid whatever a Les Paul Custom was at the time, and they ended up with a slightly better Les Paul Custom Pro. You know? So, you know, I mean, for what it is, I didn't buy this guitar knowing that, or knowing that there was some weird stuff going on here. I just, like I said, it was a black custom and that's what I wanted. And it turned out to be one of my favorite guitars, one of my better playing guitars and better sounding guitars. And there's all these weird little, to quote Bob Ross, happy accidents with it that kind of gives it that little bit of extra that I didn't even know was not supposed to be there according to what it's labeled as. But no, this is a great guitar, man. And you know, it's kind of funny, the things that, like, the way things kind of happen with some of these guitars and some of these models and stuff like that you can find out there, that sometimes things aren't always what they appear to be. like I said, it's got that little bit of extra to it, which worked out in my benefit. But yeah, I love this thing, man. You guys got anything that you bought one thing and the more you dug into it, you got something else out of it, or there was more to it than what you originally thought? Let me know in the comments below and get a conversation going. Like always, guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and if you could rate, comment, and subscribe and all that fun stuff that YouTube likes you to do, it would be greatly appreciated. And again, thank you for taking the time to watch, and we'll see you in the next one.